Case of BY 4741B, the plaintiff and the defendant appears to be a car sold unjustly. The plaintiff feels that he has been misled with buying a $200 car and would like to sue for that $200 in charge of the defendant. And the defendant does not feel that he has misled the plaintiff in any way. I'm going to begin with the plaintiff, and I want you to be very brief, so tell me what happened. Okay, so what happens is I'm looking for a dealership. I go to this dealership, I see this place. Now, what's the name of this car dealership? It says junk cars. I'm like, is it really junk? Junk cars. Am I correct? Junk cars? So you bought a car from Junk Cars and you didn't expect it to be junk? So I go over there to Junk Cars, and I know they're probably not the best cars, but I didn't know that they was really junk. So when I went there, yeah, I didn't know. So when I went there, I talked to the defendant, and I said, I like this Volvo here. It's pretty clean, but I do need a car that runs. Right. I can see that. I'm in agreement with you. Now, did the defendant, give to you keys after your purchase? The defendant said that the car runs, gave me the keys. Okay, so you got keys. Yeah, I do. I have the keys right here. Good. Now, when he gave you keys and you put the keys in the ignition and you started the car, what happened? When I put the keys in ignition, the car starts. The car also runs, but it doesn't drive. It doesn't go nowhere. Also, the car starts, but it didn't go nowhere. I couldn't get it out the parking lot. So let me get this clear. The car starts. The car runs when it starts, but it don't go nowhere. Okay, now that's a different argument, because the defendant has stated that the car runs. The defendant did not say anything about the car moving or the car driving. If you wanted a car that drives or moves, then the correct thing to have said was, do you have any cars that move or drive? Not run, because it does run, it just doesn't go nowhere. Okay. Okay. If I could give you any advice, it would be not to buy a car from Junk Cars. Not to cut you out of business, sir, but you know what I mean. Now, let's hear from the defendant what happened. The plaintiff wanted a car, okay? The plaintiff said, the Volvo is nice. Okay, I said, you can have the Volvo, $200, you can have it. I'll give you the keys. He says that he wants a vehicle that runs. I'm thinking to myself, it does run. It doesn't drive, but it runs. So I give him the keys. He signs the paperwork, and then I give him the keys. He gets in, he starts it. It runs. I mean, you can hear the cooling and everything. But it doesn't drive. Now, if he wanted one that drives, then I would have told him we don't have none, because all of our cars run, but none of them drive. So, the driving part is like the customer's responsibility to get it up to speed, but we don't do that. and we don't have any mechanic shops or nothing to get it up to speed. So it is what it is. So I didn't lie. I told him the truth. I don't feel I was wrong, so I don't see a reason to give that $200 back. Gotcha. Okay, so the defendant did not lie at all, because the defendant said that the car runs, which is true, it does run, but it doesn't go nowhere. So let's make this simple. There will be no reimbursement from the defendant to the plaintiff of that $200 due to the fact that the defendant stated that the car does run, which it does, but it doesn't go nowhere. So you had a misunderstanding as the plaintiff of what you actually wanted. You wanted a car that moves. You wanted a car that drives. This is not that. This is a car that runs, but it don't go nowhere. So this case is dismissed. All right, I'm done. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Enough of my time. Got stuff to do. Got a Broncos game to prepare for. Everything, boy. Just taking up all my time. Have a nice day.